Sorry felt pointless. Life took too long. When it came to Candyland, either you drew the Queen Frostine card or you didn't. And if you didn't, you wouldn't overturn the board so much as the entire moment. You looked so dubious about it. Plainly there was no way it had happened. You had to draw that card. I said I'd be fine just to give you the Queen Frostine card if I drew it, so long as I could still advance my token along the squares toward the finish line. But no. It was more than that. You belonged next to Queen Frostine, atop her ice cream island boulder. And so, forget it, you might say, as you had learned to instruct yourself. Forget it. Let's go play downstairs. Down the stairs we go to where the shuffleboard is, where cabinets are stuffed with canned goods and 5-gallon bags of salt line the baseboard, upright in a row. The salt girl suspended in sequence in the downpour above her umbrella, her salt canister upended in the pit of her arm. In the bunker, the floor is dirt, and the shuffleboard sinks into it by a vanishingly small fraction, each vanishingly small fraction of a second. You're not supposed to climb on the shuffleboard anymore, the reason being you're a big boy now. But as the wedding dress drops down over your shoulders, the wind whooshes up, makes you lighter. The shuffleboard is sprinkled with granules of silicone for friction. It is not salt, though we probably think it is salt. There is so much salt down here anyway, in case, when the new millennium hits, everyone loses electricity and has to hunt and cure their own meats. Eventually, I get bored of watching you strut along the shuffleboard in your wedding dress, which hangs off the sides. I want to go watch TV. I start up the stairs when you say, "Wait, help me get down. I'll come too." I decide I don't really want you to come with me. When I get to watch TV on my own, I found I can really sink into it, without fear of your noticing, saying, "What are you doing?" as my right hand pecks at the left one, so severely like it does. It just happens. I rarely notice it until you try covering my hand with yours. Doesn't it hurt you? I suppose it does, I might say. "Wait," you call out to me, but already I'm racing up the stairs. That one time I caught you, after shaving, your face in the bathroom. You did this move suddenly where you struck both your pectorals with your hand. You looked at me and saw me smiling and said, "Wait, how long have you been watching?" And there was that time I heard you talking to yourself. I could hear it through the door of your studio. There was this time I journaled about. This from September 2018. This morning, W was getting ready to go jogging, and I checked the news. Dolores O'Riordan's death was ruled a tragic accident instead of a suicide. Knowing that, I feel better, even though it's still terrible, drowning in the bath. I watched W pull the garbage and recycling to the road. He had his headphones in, his shorts the length he likes. I got surprised watching him. He didn't start running immediately. He sort of strutted, arm swaying calmly by his side. He passed behind the azalea bush. I didn't ever see him take off. Filled with so much love for him and irrational fear as ever, I always tell him, "Be careful," before he goes running. I forget the bunker door will lock behind me on account of some error your grandfather made. What makes it worse, of course, is you tumble from the shuffleboard, trying to get down, without my help. Do you hit your head? The cartoon on the TV upstairs is my very favorite, the new Scooby-Doo movies, 1972 to 4. My very favorite because each episode features a different famous guest star. Most times, I don't know who they are, but sometimes I do. Batman and Robin, Sonny and Cher, the Harlem Globetrotters, Dick Van Dyke, even Sandy Duncan, I know from an old film called The Cat from Outer Space. On weekdays, the new Scooby-Doo movies episode always precedes A Pup Named Scooby-Doo, 1988 to 91, which I like less because it's newer. Still, I watch it when I get the chance. Then follow 2 episodes of the classic Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?, 1969 to 70. I watched the entire run of the Scooby cartoons that afternoon. All the while, you're locked behind the door to the bunker, and you've fallen. I don't notice, so engrossed I am with my Scooby, my right hand pecking the whole time at my left. Until eventually I bleed. That is what broke my reverie. I heard the volume of the TV, for how loud it was. If you had been screaming for me, I hadn't heard. I hit the mute button. There was silence like that which comes at the curtain of a play, one which ends a stunner. Long pause before applause. I run to you in that space. Marry me? And if I overturn a server's tray along the way, I hope I don't do that. If I make my way to you, you there on the Akiklama, marry me? I can just see the surprise on your face. Now how to get the foam to foam up practically on stage. Perhaps we set a whisk at each placemat. We just put it out with the other silverware. Or have the waitstaff deliver them after dessert. I like the idea of having them set out right from the start. The diners will be counting salad fork, knife, dessert spoon, whisk. By now the audience knows what the whisk is for. They all rise from their seats and approach the stage, whisks in hand. Collaboratively whisking now, the audience aerate the salt and egg white mixture. The foam begins to peak. See what a dress we are making you? Your grandmother holds the train. We are all a part of it. When you fell from the shuffleboard against the dirt floor in the bunker, the wedding dress got dirty. Ruined, you said. You were hoarse. You looked so beat down from having been trapped down there, crying. You had taken the dress off and stuffed it into a 5-gallon bucket into which you poured bleach too. The bleach burned your hand. The bucket showed on its outer wall a baby upending. The water in the bucket edged in jags like a row of shark fins. A baby could drown. You had drowned Beverly. We sat there for a minute on the dirt floor, inspecting each other's hands. Just drifted a moment. Was trying to see the backs of stars, their hooks, so used to anything now as a set piece or prop. That snapped me too. Sleep brain always tries to live present, past, and future. Funny little lonely night. This foam fantasy relates to when I was in junior high. I developed this habit of drawing large coffee cups topped with a vast amount of whipped cream or foam, always towering over the brim. I relate this to back when I was a child, drawing pictures of women in dresses I loved to include layer after layer of petticoat trim, fold after fold like a hall of mirrors of petticoats. Even Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz got petticoats as I drew her, and I'm pretty sure that's an embellishment. What is this pushing down on? Night trying to get in. What is this? Holds roof against night. Opposite of a baseboard. Bow. He was asking me to dress him like a sundae. I used something like white gold chainmail for the crushed pineapple, an Elizabethan collar for the whipped cream, something like the Pope's hat for ice cream. Nightmare. Akiklama won't fit through the door to the fellowship hall, so we are having to bring it up through the basement. Maybe night is the root. The closer to morning, the more dreams become about shapes. This dream was all about that specific sort of Sunday spoon shape. The brand was something like Kai Pei and was spelled so, C-A-I-P-E-I, along the plastic handle. But as the Sunday spoon's handle fattened to meet its bowl in size, the neck pinched and the letters on the handle rearranged themselves. Now the spoon is the shape of an open makeup compact, and the brand name's new spelling is approximately K-Pi, C-E-I-P-A-I. I do get cracked open. I'm really not so. Per my realization in the Chinese restaurant, where I went alone and sat and ate and read for a good hour and watched the shift change, the morning shift leaving, one woman waving goodbye to me. Did I really look that alone, I wondered, but I hadn't felt alone. In fact, my mind had been sort of preoccupied the whole time, as it puzzled over the amount of red sauce I had given myself.